Your hidden occult power revealed. Creative visualization, the secret behind manifestation. The Ophiel series, the art and practice of getting material things through creative visualization by Ophiel. Make yourself comfortable as we read this seminal classic occult text to you. Relax and allow the ideas to really sink in. We chose this text to begin with for several reasons. Using the occult for practical purposes gives you a real-life demonstration of how it works. You get to prove these ancient laws of reality to yourself, instead of accepting abstract beliefs and theories. Of course, later on you can progress to high magic. This is the work of ascending the planes to achieve union with the divine. But first, start with the mastery of this material plane, and while doing so, improve your lot in this life and set up the foundation for the greater spiritual work. When you do so, you will already have direct knowledge and experience of the forces, and you will not have to put blind faith into any person or institution for your salvation. Ophiel, a mid-20th century occultist, does not try to create endless dogma and rituals to turn the occult into an obscure project that only the elite or those who have a lot of disposable time on their hands can undertake. He strips it down to the bare working mechanics and delivers in simple prose. Everyone has heard of manifestation or the law of attraction, but most are doing it wrong. Ophiel cracked open the hidden mechanics of manifestation, and in this series, we will break it down so you can finally understand why your visualizations sometimes work and sometimes don't, and most importantly, how to make it work consistently. Yes, you will have to apply yourself to see results, but you will not waste your time with fluff and blinds. We strongly recommend getting a copy of this book, The Art of Getting Material Things Through Creative Visualization by Ophiel, so that you can reread as you wish, and also so as to have the instructions for later exercises in front of you as you continue your practice. We will read the entire work while adding commentary, clarifying and illustrating the exercises, and relating experiences that our students have had with these various practices as we go along. The introduction will be broken down into 2 parts to avoid the video becoming overly long. But it is quite likely that as you continue with us, these videos may become longer to accommodate the depth of information that we have to share. Now, let us allow Ophiel's work to speak for itself.
Who wouldn't like the chance to enjoy some of the finer things in life? Especially since these things are within the reach of almost anyone who can read this book and follow the simple directions which Ophiel outlines. Ophiel says that with practice, anybody can develop the ability to bring almost any desirable things into his or her life through creative visualization. This technique, explained in very simple language, is Ophiel's own. He has used it for many years, and it works. All you need is the desire for the things you want, plus some elementary occult knowledge. Ophiel explains laws like the sphere of availability, the law of emotion, and the law of the barrier, as well as giving you a complete and easy ritual to follow, which can open doors and bring enormous dividends to your life. Ophiel is one of America's best-known occult writers. His Art and Practice series is probably the finest ever written for beginner and intermediate student. Anyone who sincerely wants to study and use the occult will benefit by reading these books.
Dedication. Ophiel dedicates this book to all those who are endeavoring to better themselves mentally, physically, and materially through the study, practice, and application of the occult. Ophiel hopes you will acquire the knowledge, understanding, and use of the material offered in this book, and through its successful practice, attain the happiness of your desires by raising yourself by your occult bootstraps. Foreword and Introduction. Without doubt, the greatest mystery on earth is the mystery of our physical existence. We are stuck here, and what do we know about why we are here? And what can we do about it? There are those who say they know what physical existence is all about, and they are listened to by all and sundry, and are followed by all and sundry, who hang on their every word and gesture and believe everything they say completely. Fortunately, it happens that Ophiel has a defect in his character, probably comes from his Capricorn birth sign. Capricorn ruled by Saturn, the tester. Ophiel wishes many times he didn't have this defect. Then he could live in peace, in a fool's paradise like the others. Ophiel's defect consists of not being about to accept self-styled prophets' sayings and teachings without raising the following awkward question and making the following embarrassing test. The question is what they say true? And the test is, does what they say work and produce results? And if what they say does not work, then it is not true, and into the garbage can with it. So, having applied this question and this test to every religion, church, philosophy, occult school, occult teachings, Ophiel now arrives at leaving a trail of religions, churches, philosophies, occult schools, occult teachings in garbage cans behind him. But out of all these years of Ophiel's turmoil and search has come something for you. Ophiel has found that men, all men, have certain definite powers, powers of which he is often not aware of having, and which powers seem almost divine. Henceforth, your object in life should be the discovery and development of your personal powers for your use and benefit, and to bring you happiness and enlightenment and illumination.
Some comments. The use of the word men, man, and the pronoun he is used as a universal to designate all genders and humanity in general. Please keep in mind that this book was written in the mid-20th century, when this was the accepted style. Ophiel also refers to himself in the third person quite often, and sometimes even combines the first and third person in one sentence. That's his personal quirk and writing style. He stresses the importance of testing things out yourself and approaching the occult with the spirit of a scientist. Of course, it is inspiring to hear the stories of others and to learn from those who have walked the path before us. But use the information only as a map and guidance, and see for yourself what lies beyond. Now, back to the text.
Ophiel wrote this book to bring to you definite workable knowledge about one of your powers, the power of creative visualization. If you will stop, analyze, examine, and consider, you must find that our physical existence consists almost wholly of things coming into our personal life, physical existence, surroundings. These physical incoming things are of two types or classes. The first class of things are mental, emotional, circumstantial events, and the other classes of things are material things. we occult students should be deeply interested in the modus operandi of our powers of mental visualization creation, creating, and all its ramifications, more especially as to how the development of these powers pertains to our own personal lives, with emphasis upon the idea of conquering physical matter by learning to control it, as well as bringing into our personal possession the material things that seem to be so necessary now for our happiness and physical plane well-being. Do not be afraid to do this. Man's attempts at creative visualization's workings are nothing new in man's evolutionary development. Untold ages of times ago, your caveman ancestors secured needed desired circumstances things by various types of creative visualization work, combined of course with endless devices, both physical and mental, to assist the creative visualization work. As you know, your Stone Age ancestors' creative visualization work consisted of picture drawings on the walls of caves, pictures showing him successfully hunting game and successfully defending himself from his enemies. And his creative visualizations must have worked also successfully because our ancestors did survive, and we are here today as a result of their survival. A modern application of the cave wall pictures will be given in this book. For your own advancement and understanding, I ask you to study carefully this ancient application of this magic art and the modern one, and make the connection in your own mind or thinking. Also, for untold ages, mankind has engaged in asking supposed higher powers for the favorable circumstances wanted or needed. These higher powers were supposed to be outside of man. There are powers outside of man, but I can't go into the question of these outside powers, called God or gods, in this book. This subject I will again have to leave for another book. All I want to do in this book is to direct your attention to your latent powers, those powers that you possess now. I will repeat, you, all of you, possess powers which, if used properly, are able to handle the creation of circumstances favorable to your physical being. One of these powers is the power of creative visualization. Do not worry about not learning to use the laws of these powers perfectly. If you learn the laws and use them as well as you can, they will work, maybe a little slower, but they will work. Do remember that all the things you have now that you do not want, you brought to yourself by the unconscious use of these laws, and you did no special practice on that, did you? Also, have no fear about using these laws. These laws, the embodiment of your powers, are as much a part of you as your life is. There is no wrong in using them. The only wrong is in not using them and allowing physical life to hurt you. Now go to it. Make your life the life you want. Go, go, go.
Some comments here. In our ancient past, the shaman and the tribe used these visualization rituals to bring in sustenance and protection, to find new fertile lands and rivers of fresh water, to find safe spaces for shelter. But with the rise of hierarchical societies, ruling classes formed, placing this knowledge only in the hands of a new priesthood who served the rulers. And these powers were made sinful. We were told that we could no longer use them, but had to live lives of suffering and servitude. Even now, people still fear activating these latent powers, thinking that they will be struck down. So we live in a world where all our hours are caught up in running after material security, worrying about bills, transacting with other humans, only in terms of what they can do for us, all because of fear and survival programming. This keeps us trapped in the physical plane. But, as Ophiel pointed out, we do still use the powers. As creative beings, made in the image of the Divine One, we always create. We just do it unconsciously. And instead, we bring into manifestation the thought forms that are being forced upon us: scarcity, disease, loneliness, violence, and the list goes on. We are simply creating according to the agenda of the rulers instead of our free will. To use these powers to bring health, peace, and abundance is to create a foundation on this earth, from which we may then continue to awaken more of our spiritual gifts to truly live in Eden. The front cover symbol, which he describes in the next passage, is reproduced on the screen before you and has been throughout most of this video. Now, back to the text.
This book was the second of Ophiel's occult books. My first book was, as you know, about astral projection. It soon became apparent to Ophiel that many people did not have the resources so that they could devote time to occult study. Indeed, many people lacked the surplus of material means to lead a gracious life. Ophiel gathered together knowledge, some of it 1,000,000 years old, and put it together for your use and benefit, so use it. Creative visualizations do work. They have worked for Ophiel, and Ophiel was a difficult subject for that sort of thing, so it can work for you. Please notice the symbol before the frontispiece. Notice that the symbol is not exactly three-dimensional, but is in between, hence in between this place and the next plane up. Give this idea your attention. Ophiel has written, so far, 7 other books, each pertaining to a vital phase of occult knowledge. If these books are studied consecutively, they should lead you to a good basic foundation of occult knowledge that should keep you busy for the rest of your life. This whole physical life is a dream type of illusion, and it is your job to so demonstrate it. So mote it be.
He ends the introduction with one of the most fundamental, powerful spiritual truths. This whole physical life is a dream type of illusion, and it is your job to so demonstrate it. Yes, my friends, to demonstrate that is to awaken. Now, we come to the end of the first part of this introduction. Let yourself contemplate these ideas so they sink in deep and de-hypnotize you from your programs of limitations, scarcity, and suffering. You have a divine power to create your personal reality according to your vision. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for part 2 of the introduction, and post any comments, thoughts, or experiences below. In the meantime, arise and awaken.